Hello everyone, Red here again, and man, I'm excited to be here. I got a new series I'm starting up. It's called 2024 Vine to Wine, and this is where I'm going to start with the vineyard here, from when it starts at bud break all the way to when I harvest it again. So 2024 Vine to Wine series. This is part one. So today we're going to cover bud break. I'm gonna show you a bud break. Looks like we're a little past that now. Weed in the vineyard. I'm gonna take care of all these weeds and weed them all gone. And then I'm gonna trim it up. I'm gonna take the extra canes, cut them all out, the extra ones I had. I'll do some pruning, I'll do some fertilizing, and I'll do some spraying, all in this episode. So I'm gonna get it all done for you. I kind of combined it all into one episode. It's been like 2 weeks, but I've been fighting the rain, I've been fighting the weather, and the grapes keep growing anyways, which is really cool to see. So I kind of got it all into one video for you. And just out of curiosity, what's a pirate's favorite wine? Pinot Noir. So here we are out in the vineyard, and it's looking a little rough, right? It's got some weeds down there, but you know what? We got bud break, and it's looking good. You can see the little green from where the buds broke out. And it's kind of cool, man. This whole process. There they are. They just keep growing, and it's fun to see. So, just wanted to kind of scroll down and let you see. I got those arms out there that I left from the pruning process earlier, probably about February or so, just in case those canes that I have didn't take, you know what I mean, or in case they didn't produce or they died off. So I always like to leave one extra one just in case, and I wanted to show it to you here, so that I could easily put that in there if I need to. So, all right, so I'm starting out just doing some weeding. I got, it wasn't too bad. I have a little scraper I use, and that way I'm able to scrape them and pick them up fairly easy. I want to try and not use any chemicals to kill the weeds on there. It's not that big, you know what I mean? I think if I can do it, or keep on top of it, I'll be okay. Plus, I'm not against using a weed burner to kind of fry those weeds with a little propane tank, and you light it and you can burn those weeds away. So, not against that at all. So, you saw me pulling the weeds. Now it's been a little bit longer. Each kind of section goes a little bit of time. So I'm like, all right, it's looking good. I think I'm gonna trim off some of these canes here that I've left on there. So there's my little projects I'm working on. That one the dog got to last year. It was doing so good. We have a new pup, Duke, and he got a hold of those things I found in the yard, and I'm like, no, please. So I blamed it on the old dog. But here we go. I kind of switched positions to where I'm looking at the yard now. I think the sun was on me, so I didn't want to have you look at my shadow all day. But pruning off the extra one. All the canes that I had on there took really nicely, so I don't want to grow any extra ones, unsupported ones. So I'm just doing the old vertical shoot, where the buds that are broken out, they'll just kind of go straight up, and I'll catch them with my wires and hopefully get 2 to 3 bushels of grapes per sprout there. So just kind of going down the line, trimming those things off, and you can see the old vineyard the old formation forming. after I cut these canes off, it was kind of interesting. The next morning I came out, and where I cut them was weeping so bad it left a little drop on the ground below it. It almost looked like it was had a little watering spot, and I was like, dang, I didn't know that they would weep that much. So still following through with the process here. Last one, I kind of let them just go crazy, grow whatever way they wanted, while the other ones, the ones I was planning on keeping, I wrapped around the wire. Now I'm going through and just kind of measuring out how far I want those spurs apart, those shoots apart from each other. A good rule of thumb, is 1 hand length in between. So if you notice, I can have like 1 hand, I'm measuring 1 hand in between, and then the ones that are extra, I'll just kind of pull them off. They scrape off pretty easy. And ultimately, if I can get 7 or 8 per side, that's what I'm looking for. It's a pretty strong vine, and I think you can handle 7 or 8 shoots on both sides. So these first 2 that I'm doing are a little bit younger. I think this is their 4th year, 3rd year. This is the first year I'm getting fruit off, or I'm harvesting the fruit off of them. So you can see there's not quite as hardy as the other 2 other ones, which are probably, I don't know, 6 years old, 5, 6, 7 years old, something like that. But they do need a little bit of pruning here. So even though you got bud break on all these, you want to make sure that you have enough space in between them to give them room to grow upwards, so that they have the room for your fruit in there. You don't want your fruit bumping into each other too much. Plus a lot of the growths on the trunk of it, and I just kind of pull those off too. They come off super easy. There we go. Now we're moving into the fertilizing phase. So I picked up a bag of this fertilizer. It's 10-10-10. And I picked it up at, I think it was Lowe's. Kind of had to go out of the ordinary area to find it. It was kind of in the back area, but this is the perfect fertilizer, I think, for having the right amount of, ingredients for this time of year. I'll throw it down before, or right after bud break, and then right before veraison, and then I think that's usually it. Maybe, I don't even think, after harvest I'll throw some down too. But you want to find the trunk, diameter, and I got my trusty measuring tape out there, and it was like around 2 inches. So I just followed the directions on the bag, and I think it came to like 1.5 cups for per plant. So I was like, how do I get 1.5 cups out of there? So I remembered I have all these leftover bottles for in my barbecue. So I said, I'm gonna grab one of those, fill it full of rice, and then that way I can fill it full of the fertilizer, and I'll have the perfect amount for putting it down per plant. Well, of course, when I put it on or tried to get the rice in there, it spilled all over the place, but oh well. So I got the gist of it. So that's about 1 cup there, and I'm like, well, if I eyeball it, 1.5 cups there, I think that'll put me right in the ballpark. So dump the rice out, grab my cup. I'm going to cut it open here and fill it up to around where that mark was. And I'll dump that, or I'll sprinkle that around each plant. I figure that'll give me the right amount of nourishment for fertilizer for that for each plant. So this is kind of me doing it one-handed here. There we go. So, bring out each plant and I just start sprinkling it around. Kind of like I'm seasoning a pork butt. That way I can, make sure I got the right fertilizer per plant, and I'll just sprinkle it a couple feet in each direction. So I don't do it very often. Here it is, April. I'm doing this in April, and I won't do it again until, good grief, middle of summer, late summer. So. Too easy. There's my little darlings. Hello, little darling. You can see they're a little bit bigger than before. Those are my dogs. So I thought I'd go through this process with you. I mean, there's only really 4 vines that I'm fertilizing. The other 2, I mean, I think I'll even sprinkle some down on the other 2, excuse me, but I just kind of wanted to show you the process. It's kind of cool to see, Tried to make sure I was out of the picture, or my shadow was out of the picture. But it's super easy. You just go fill it up with the fertilizer, and then you just broadcast it or spread it around. There's that Lone Ranger. So I threw a little around the base of him too. And then the old one, the dog tore up big time. That one just won't freaking die either. But so now it's time for the not fertilizing, but the spraying. So I just grabbed this Be Safe 3-in-1 garden spray at Lowe's, Home Depot's, but it's insecticide and a fungicide and a miticide. And this is all I use. It kills the aphids, the white flies, spider mites. I mean, it gets all those gnats and everything. It controls powdery mildew, downy mildew, black spots. It even says on for use with trees and shrubs and flowers and fruits. So it even says for organic gardening. So it's what I use, and I have pretty good luck with it. I just take the measurement out. I think it was 3 ounces per gallon. So all I use is this dumb little pump sprayer that I got, and I fill it up there, and I have my gallon measuring mark. So I'll fill it up with water to that 1 gallon mark. Give it a quick shimmy shake, and then that's kind of my process. I'll use this, at least every month initially. And I'll even use it on my roses too. My roses are really good way for me to find out what's coming and how things are doing too. Because if those show the black spots pretty good, stuff like that, downy mildew, and that way it kind of gives me a good indicator what's coming. So here's one of my rose bushes, and I'll just give it a good spray. Making sure you spray it on the insides, undersides, underneath sides, and, just making sure everything is covered. It's kind of nice because it says it's organic. I mean, it's organicide. So, heck, I don't know. Seems to work for me. But I thought I'd show you how I'm spraying the rose bush. I got 3 of them there. It's nice to have that organic aspect of it when you have animals too. And then this is just in the garden or in the vineyard, spraying everything really good, making sure all areas get covered. Once again, I mean, it's just kind of cool to see, area and spraying it all good. I shake it up pretty good, restock it, make sure there's plenty of chemical in there or whatever it is. So that way, get full coverage. Nice little overspray in the sunshine. Well, this is my part one of my 2024 Vine to Wine series. So once again, I just kind of combined it as best as I could. We started out with the bud break, where the buds just kind of broke out from the canes there. And if you notice, they're quite a bit bigger now, aren't they, than when bud break came. So I just want to show it to you. It only took about 2 weeks for that to happen. And man, those things grow so stinking fast. It's almost like an inch a day. It's kind of cool to see. Each year you can see the full growth of the vine, all the way from bud break all the way till harvest and then pruning it. It really is cool. It is a cool hobby. But just kind of summarize, we did the bud break, which was about mid-April here in the Northwest. And then I weeded it. Gotta keep the weeds down to a minimal, which is fairly easy here in a residential area. I'm in a housing development, so it's fairly easy. And then I went through and I trimmed the extra canes off, and I had those canes on there just in case the other ones didn't work or didn't take. So I trimmed those off, which kind of wheat pretty good, incidentally. I did a final pruning, made sure there wasn't too many. You want to get like 7 or 8, vines that go up. So I made sure there's that on each one. And then I did some fertilizing, threw some fertilizer down, made sure everything was good there, and get that initial nutrients to the roots as I can. And then did a quick spray on it. So the spray I'll probably keep doing, every month or so. I always do the roses to make sure that the roses, they're kind of a nice little foretelling what's going on. So no bugs and stuff on the roses yet. And then here it is now, beginning of May, first weekend in May. And it's coming along nice. It's cool to see, it really is. I'm pretty proud of it. So this is part one. So we'll keep finishing, it's kind of, when I combine them, it seems to be a little bit better of a video than just doing like a little minute and a half here, minute and a half there, and stuff like that. So hope you enjoyed this. I really do. 2024 Vine to Wine series, part one. It's a wrap.